But I think what's more interesting than obviously just the cut is really the balls of HBO Max to go and put millions of dollars behind allowing these reshoots and wanting to re-release it. Like, I don't know, the actions of these streaming services as of late have just been not necessarily surprising, but the way that they're moving forward the space is very interesting. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. You know, it's interesting. I don't know if I like it or if I don't, because on one hand, it's like we get more content, but on the other hand, like the move away from theaters and, traditional cinema and away from movies and more into TV shows is, I don't know how I feel about it, and especially with COVID is making things so complicated now. I feel like it's almost accelerating a clock that was already ticking.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it at all. Yeah, I'd be okay if all streaming services just went and died. Because for me, they're destroying traditional cinema. And we are moving more towards TV shows. And even in terms of movies, you're moving more towards TV shows with shared universes and all that. So I'm not a fan of it. People seem to be more and more content with sitting at home and watching movies on their TV. We got The Irishman last year on Netflix, which was just hugely disappointing to me. Not the movie was fantastic, but the fact that I could only watch it on Netflix. And the only way I could see it in theaters is if I happen to live in New York or LA. And I don't like that. I don't like that you don't have the option for a lot of these. And I see us moving more and more towards that. Especially if I just heard that MGM was shopping No Time to Die around
The new James Bond.
Yeah. At streaming services. They wanted way too much money for it, because
I've heard that almost got sold, then it almost didn't, and then it did.
I want to say it was Netflix and Apple that would only offer up to $300 million, and MGM wanted $600 million because they've spent so much money on that movie. But
yeah,
that's scary to me.
Yeah, it's scary that it could almost go. And for me, it's like I'm actually not like super against these streaming services or TV shows becoming more popular, getting these bigger budgets. What I would like is like a world where we live in harmony, where I'd rather just have the TV industry be booming, and then also these streaming services stay out of releasing their own movies as much and keep can we just keep them separate? Like, because I don't want, like, you say that you'd be okay if these streaming services just went away, but like, I'm okay with it. I like watching TV shows, but I don't want that to taint my theater experience. I don't want that to taint the way that we handle the way that it's produced and consumed cinema. So it's like, is there a way that we can live in harmony? It's like, I don't want James Bond's No Time to Die to come to Netflix by any means. I need to see that movie in theater. Same thing goes for the Denis Villeneuve's Dune movie. Same thing goes for anything that we've been looking forward to that got delayed by COVID. But that being said, I mean, I still watch plenty of shows. I mean, I have Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Like, I am all here for the shows. I don't prefer them to movies, but I'm okay with having them. I think the medium has its own thing. I would rather see the mediums lean into each other. I want to see cinema be cinema. And I want to see TV shows be TV shows instead of seeing cinema be more like TV shows, but also TV shows be more like cinema. And so now they're both just almost like the same thing. And it's like, why do we even differentiate? And I feel like that's what the streaming services are doing. They're like, yeah, why don't we differentiate? Yeah. Let's just make everything this one thing. And it's like you get to this point where you have Marvel movies feeling like they're TV shows and people are loving them. They're so great, But aside from like Endgame and like the last two Marvel Avengers movies, a lot of the even Marvel movies just feel like TV shows. Yeah. And they're solid because TV shows have gotten good. But there's still a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference in the way it feels, the way it's shot, the way it's planned, it's everything.
Yeah, and the issue is that the more and more people get to like Universal is doing that thing where they're I think 17 days after release in theaters, they're going to their streaming service. And for people who are not crazy about going to the theater,
that's not a long way.
That's not enough incentive, right? A lot of people are cool to wait 4 months for a movie to come out on a streaming service and skip the theaters.
Yeah, that's not a long wait at all.
17 days, who's going to be going to theaters? So when you're moving closer and closer to it, And the more and more, it's 17 days for a Universal movie. Well, then it's probably going to be, Disney Plus has their own streaming service. What about when their new movies are now just going straight to Disney Plus, or they're going straight to Disney Plus after a certain amount of time? Then when the revenue is not coming from theaters, then they're going to cut theaters out of it and just go straight to the Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's just it's a sad time. I don't know where it goes. I don't know where it ends. I mean, I can see the doom that we're headed towards, but like I don't really know. I don't know that there's any stopping it. I don't know that anyone's going to stop it.
The only possible way to stop it is if more people went to theaters. If people showed that there was an interest in theaters, or theaters did something to bring in a bigger audience. I was going to say, what I'm all but
for...
But that's kind of impossible right now when nobody's supposed to gather together.
So coronavirus aside, though, what I'm all for is actually, and this is a bit of a gamble, I'm actually in favor of theaters almost being pushed to the brink so that they're forced to innovate. A lot of times these industries don't get to something new until they've been on the, precipice, until they've seen the death and looked it in the eye and realized that they have to do something different. And I think as a lot of industries are moving this way, an industry like theaters needs to move towards a bigger experience. Now, you've seen moves towards that and them being like, we're going to give you pizza and beer now at the theaters and turn it into more of a dining experience. A lot of places have gone to like the reclining chairs and things like that. But those are nice. That's cool. I don't think it's enough. I think there's got to be something that turns theaters into like an artisan experience. Like I almost like, instead of having these massive theaters with hundreds of seats, having a monetized experience that you can serve to smaller amounts of people and finding a way to profit off of that and making it a really fun and exciting experience for the passionate people. That is also so fun and exciting that you can build an industry off of it, almost making it like, I almost want a theater to be like a local coffee shop, a nice one, but I think having these big chains just forces shackles onto the industry in a way that I don't think they can survive. Yeah. So like, I think they almost need to face this destruction and see if they can come out. The only problem is I don't know that you can trust the industry to come out on top.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, but yeah. So, I mean, we'll just see.